Welcome everyone to Multifamily Deals and Dollars podcast. My name, your host, Kiran. I'm known as a wealthy nurse, and I have a special guest with me today. His name is Bryce Kander, and he is an amazing real estate investor. He focuses on Central Alberta. So let's hear from Bryce. So welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on. We actually first connected because we were talking about building together a seniors assisted living complex in Innisfail. So thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. So Bryce, for our audience, so how you got into real estate? Let's talk about.
Yeah, so my mom has been a realtor for 46 years. They don't even make pins anymore because they stop at 40 years because no one's ever been in them for that long. And when I was 13, she helped me buy my first house.
Oh my goodness, 13-year-old.
I couldn't go on title until I was 18, but we still own it today. There's 8 years left on the mortgage. I'm 34
Nice.
today, or not today, but at this time I'm 34.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then that's amazing, being a parent who knows a real estate, how the income works, how the expenses works, and also bring in the kids. She has done a really, really good job. So what's happening in Central Alberta? What do you see in the market, these days?
Yeah, so Central Alberta prices are still going up. I've been running conservative numbers, like 10% less because Calgary, the rents have dropped by 10%. So
Mm.
we always follow whatever happens there. So I'm just being preemptive, but prices are still going up.
Mm.
Um, yeah, it's pretty crazy. It jumped by 30% last year. And so there was opportunities where it was a 30 unit building, brought in $300,000 worth of income, but they hadn't realized that rents increased by 30%.
Yes.
I was like, oh man. So I have a rule as a realtor that if I find a good deal, I have to show it to someone who's working with me before I can buy it.
Right.
And I helped a client secure an offer on it because if we can increase the rent by $90,000 without changing a light bulb, it's a $900,000 increase here because we use like a gross rent multiplier of about 10. So yeah, it's just crazy. It's gonna make $1 million without changing a light bulb. And so
Yeah.
that was last year. So that's
Mhm.
kind of gone. Now we're still sitting at I can maybe increase the value by 100,000 just by increasing the rents, but there's not that $1 million at the end of it.
Yes, and that's the beauty of commercial real estate, right? Like on the residential side, that people buy real estate what they like, what looks good to them, like kitchens and washrooms. Sometimes it's like the backyard or the front yard, right? On um, on a commercial side, because it is a business, real estate is a business, and we always look at what that property is. What are we buying today, and what can we do to the property to increase its value so that we can refinance, or even like doing a quick burr, and have that profit and refinance again, like reinvest again, I mean.
Even with seniors assisted living, you have a lease with the business owner and you can build escalations into that lease so that your building just increases in value guaranteed over 5 years so that you can refinance and pull out your money. Like it's crazy. Commercial.
Absolutely. And then the other thing is uh, commercial real estate and senior care homes, it allows you to give back to the community, right? Like being a good landlord, it's giving opportunity, because being an immigrant, I lived on those apartment building. I used to live on 118 in Edmonton, and it's like corner brick building, and it still exists. And then me and my sister, we used to live in, we used to sleep in living room, and then we were hacking that rental apartment. Our tenant was living in the bedroom.
That's awesome.
Yes, and then I used to live like and I think I lived in Yorkton, Regina, so those big buildings, and now I see how those if you somebody can paint and somebody can do quick touch up in the kitchen and bathroom, I would happily pay more rent. It looks nice, right? And it's close to the amenities, and I believe that as a landlords, and we are giving back to the community. We are helping the people who are not ready to buy a house yet. they can bring their family, and they can raise their family, and while they're figuring out where they want to buy a house.
Yeah, rental housing provider just sounds a little bit better than landlord. I'm a rental
Yes.
housing provider.
Yes, making a difference, right? So it's all about making a difference. And with the same with senior care home, right? There are a lot of care homes. Our population in number of seniors are going up, and we don't have enough supply. We are in housing crisis, and we also have long waiting list on the care home. And you know, me and you and other housing providers, we are helping the nation. I believe that even on a small scale, uh, we are making a big difference.
Yeah, if you're a good, I mean, there's nothing worse than bad seniors care. It's like, okay, they got it hard anyways. They got bad memory. If you need people, like my wife is an LPN and my mother-in-law is as well. And yeah, there's not all nurses and not all care homes are created equal. One actually just sold in Red Deer. It was a 6 unit for 875,000. It was okay. You'd have to do MLI select on it to make the numbers work. Um, but yeah.
Yes, there are options. There are deals for every investor. It just needs to fit our buy box, right? Like your buy box could be different from your client's buy box, and my buy box could be different from your buy box, right? So once we know what we want, and then we can look for, right? So for investors, what advice would you give to somebody who is looking for their first rental property?
First rental property, every house you move into, you can buy for 5% down, not just the first one. So you buy something with a basement suite and you live in the basement, you house hack, but you purposely want to, it's called pigeonholing. You put yourself in a smaller box than you ideally would like. So you live in the basement. You don't start in the upstairs because the next time you move to a property and you want to buy it for 5% down, the bank is going to ask you, why are you moving? Well, I want to live upstairs. They go, well, why don't you kick out your tenant and move upstairs? Well, they're in a lease and they're really great. I want to keep them. And so then you move to the next one. And then the third time they go, okay, why are you moving again and trying to put 5% down? You go, well, I would like one with a garage. They go, oh, okay, it's Canada. That makes sense. And then the fourth time they're like, okay, why are you moving again to another legally? You go, well, I just got engaged. I would like to live in a nicer, legally suited house. I still don't want to pay my mortgage. I would like someone else to pay my mortgage. And then the fifth time they go, okay, what are you doing? Why are you buying for 5% down again? You go, well, I'd like a single family house because my 4 legally suited properties pay for me to live in my nice new pretty house. They're for
Yes.
now houses. They're not forever houses.
Yes, that's true. And then I think one mistake a lot of investors do is like the first property, like, after graduating, like after getting the first job, and the next biggest thing that people think that the urgency is to buy a house, right? And if somebody is in BC or Ontario, the house prices are so insane high that for person middle class income, it doesn't make any sense to buy and then keep paying down the mortgages and like picking up like second job or third job, right? And then I believe that there is no urgency, that there's no rule written in any book that after getting the job or after settling down, after paying your student debt, that somebody has to buy this thing, first house. You can buy a rental property, and then the first house doesn't need to be the prettiest house, or it doesn't can that should not have to be a dream house, right? So you can buy the house that the numbers make sense, or make it pretty. Would you agree? Like, renovate it, like, build equity in the deal. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can do the purchase plus improvement mortgage. So
Yes.
the bank will give
Yes.
you up to 100. There's one bank that'll give you 100,000, so you can buy a single family
Hmm.
house and add a basement suite to
Wow.
it.
So somebody can find a house that has basement not done, and then finish up the basement, live in the basement, now that property with the basement finish is worth more, and then you can do the second house. And I think that also is and the second thing comes with the car, right? If somebody is living in a community that you don't need a car, there's a very big difference between what you need and what you want, right? Those can be very two different things. And like you said, like the 5 years, every year buying multiple properties, it builds up, and by the time you reach 5, it's time to refinance them.
Yeah, then the houses start buying new houses.
Yes, yeah, I really like that. The houses, what did you say?
The houses start buying new houses. You pull out
Yes.
30,000, you use that as 5% down
Yeah,
on
the
another house.
houses makes you buy houses, right? Yeah, that's amazing. And then if the zoning allows, or if there's an option, you can add garden suite, you can build more. And then if you buy something older, somebody can demolish that house and build 6 unit, 8 unit, 10 unit. So
Yeah, well, with the demolishing of houses, like we were just working on our taxes, you get a 4% depreciation per year on your property, but just the property, not the land.
mhm.
And so if you are demolishing it, depreciate that property by 4% a year, because that's the whole point of depreciation. Eventually, someone's going to tear it down, and
Yes,
so
yeah.
you don't have to pay that recapture tax if you're tearing the property down. So write it off against your other rental income.
Yes. So you're young, and you're into real estate for almost like 15 years now, right?
Yeah, that's
And
great.
then what advice would you give to somebody like for property management?
There's 3 stages to property management. Manage it yourself. If that becomes too much work, give it to a property manager. If that becomes too much work, sell it. Most people, they sell it when it becomes too much work the first time.
That, that's amazing. Yes, yeah. Manage, and then and also it becomes if somebody has more time, they can manage, and if somebody is busy, it's worth. Property manager are more experienced, they know the rules and regulations, and they are the experts. If somebody, they have the contractor names and they can work for you, right? I think it's worth every dollar you spend on the property management.
Yeah, yeah. I only have one, well, 2 long-term ones left. Everything else is Airbnb at the moment. Uh, but I have one come available. I'm like, man, there's a lot of work to actually. So I'm at.
Yes, 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 it is a lot of work when you are finding a tenant, and you're also busy with other business tasks, and or you could be busy with finding another property, right? So
Yeah,
that makes it big difference.
it's $1,000 an hour is what you're working at. If you're networking, raising capital, it's the best use of your time. Pay someone else 7% to manage it. If
Manage it, yes. And then they have the system, right? I think it's all about the system we are building. If that system works, you know great. And if that doesn't system does not work, leverage somebody else's system, right? Like when you look at Tim Hortons and McDonald's, like they have been able to open multiple franchises because they have a system. What they're buying, what are they selling, and what they are, the food price and the employee price, employee payroll. So everybody needs to make money, and the same thing comes with rental business.
Yeah, so you've been wanting to expand your seniors assisted living business. So you've started creating systems to put in place so that you can expand in other provinces. Um, how did you? Where's your first building that you started with?
Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan.
And I believe that it's all about the team. And when you have the team, you learn from their experiences, and you end of the day, it's the clients, right? You look at how much are you able to uh, you know provide the housing for, and what is your food cost, and what is your employee cost, and what is the real estate you're able to buy. So as long as you're able to pay for the real estate, pay for your employees, and have a good quality care, And that's just all about, right? Because being in healthcare, I wanted to make sure that we provide quality care at our all the facilities. And otherwise, why am I in in healthcare business, right? So I can run a food and be really really good at it. I could I think end of the day, whatever you do, and that gives you good, good sleep at night, and having that feeling in your heart that you have done everything, every single thing you can, and you are being, you know whether you are a chef, be a really really good chef, right? If you are a rental housing provider, being a really really good person. And then if you are in care homes, being a really really good operator. Whatever you do, get really good at it, and then focus on that.
There was there was one in town that my dad was looking at a while ago, and he was going to be living there. It had a bowling alley, and so that was one of the amenities. So, what are some of the amenities or incentives that you offer in your buildings?
So we have a backyard area. We have those table tennis, ping pong, all those chess, and all those like activity tables. And we have cards, and we also cater according to the resident likes and dislikes. Some residents like like dancing, so we try to invite other people who are good and like musicians, are who are really good in guitar or piano. And according to the like, some residents go out for a walk, so we like the where we our facilities like next to the pond, so we take out for outings. And some people like listening to the music, or some people just like watching TV, and listening to news or sports. And um, you know um, it's according to like somebody what they like. So your bowling is really great, so that's really great.
That's cool. Yeah, I was just picturing if you were doing a development that, yeah, if you put your seniors assisted care living next to a pond, because the city always wants you to have green space, and so you put a pond there and then put walking paths around there, and then you can go for walks around the lake.
Yes, and there you can, they can want bird watch, like the ducks, and like the kids playing around because the playground nearby. And so it becomes like more community, and you get outside sunshine, and you look at plants, you look at flowers, and that brings more joy. Yeah.
That's really cool.
So what are your plans? What are you working on now? And yeah.
Yeah. So I'm in Innisfil, the place where we were talking about that seniors assisted care living building. I'm actually buying a 27 unit building with underground parking. And
Nice.
it's hopefully today, he just said that he needed to talk to his other business partner to make sure that it was fine. But it's a cash unconditional offer. We're borrowing basically $3 million at 15% interest to buy this building. We're buying it for $2,075,000. Then we're going to spend $925,000 renovating it, and so then withholding costs and all the other stuff. We'll be in it for about 3.4 when we're done, and then conservatively it's going to be worth 4. So we're going to burr it into the MLI Select. So we'll only have 5% into it. So it'll be crazy. I was a
That's
private.
great. So underground parking. So it's a concrete building?
Concrete underground parking and then wood frame for the balance.
Oh, okay. Okay. Nice. That's great. And good unit mix?
Yeah, 3 bedrooms on the end, 2 bedrooms. There's like 16 of them, and then 10 one-bedrooms. So we'll do the 1 bedrooms as the affordable units, and then we'll probably put some seniors in there because Innisfil is 25% senior population. So
Nice. That's a really good unit mix, like two bedrooms and 3 bedrooms. I really like those. And then that's a strategy, that keeping the 1 bedroom as affordable, and helping out the community, right? Yes.
yeah, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be fun. Yeah.
Nice. That's great. And then what advice would you give to somebody who is looking to invest in Central Alberta?
Mhm. Um, I would say, get a realtor. who understands, because realtors have their ear to the ground. If I was buying in BC or Quebec, I would go to a realtor. I'm not even the realtor on this deal. I
Hmm.
I have a different realtor because they found the deal and then they brought it to the private builder. So I'm like, hey, you get the commission. Um, I'm not even taking a referral fee because they have to work really hard to actually put those deals together. We've
Hmm.
been at this for a month, and like this poor guy, like he earns his commission. So yeah, I would get a realtor, and because the difference between a realtor and other people who offer deals, um, like a wholesaler, realtors, if we have to treat people like we would treat ourselves. Like we're actually supposed to have that rule of, if I find a deal, I have to show it to someone who's working with me before I can buy it myself, because I have to treat you like I would treat me. And
Hmm.
so this deal was not my deal. It was a private builder came to me and said, hey, I need help raising capital. And so I couldn't offer it to other people. Um, but yeah, you need a good team, or yeah, you just need a good team.
Yes, it's all about teamwork and then leveraging somebody else's experience, leveraging somebody else's network, right? So, and also being uh, having a good strategy in the deal, buying at a good price, renovating it right, and then at the exit, good financing terms makes or breaks the deal.
Yeah. So do you buy existing or do you build new?
We do both because in New Brunswick, properties are really good price. Like the rentals are they're older, but the price per unit is really good. And in Saskatchewan, because of the lots and then the zoning, and in Alberta, same. Like we're doing new builds.
That's awesome. And then
And BC will be more like an older building because the new takes some time for the permits. There's like because of the city, there is a delays with the permits and stuff because of just it's the volume, right? Like if we have so much development permits being done and the city is a swamp, they are going to take time. And if it's like that's why I like secondary markets, right? They don't have enough volume and they have the time and they are pro development. They are giving incentives. So developing in secondary markets I like to. And yeah.
so if rent is 1,000, what are you able to get as the landowner for rent by pairing your assisted living business with owning the real estate?
So the first thing is like for care home, we need to have the zoning and the city needs to allow us to run the business, right? So then what we do is we back engineer. For example, I need to look at what are the comparable, senior care homes are being sold in the market for, what are their cap rates, what are the income, per bed charges, and what are the food expenses, utilities, property taxes, insurance, and the payroll. Payroll is a huge, right? And if it's in Ontario or it's like bigger cities, the payroll is like very very big expense because you need to give higher per hourly so that they can sustain in that big city, expensive city, right?
Mhm.
So then we backtrack what is my final cap rate, and I slowly go back. What is my construction cost, what is my soft cost, what is that I need to buy the land for. So somebody like it's very hard for me to say this is the land, and then because the on the land I can build 50 bed or I can do 100 bed. 100 bed will be less expensive. Price per door will be less, and compared to the 50, because now that on the 100 bed my land cost is divided, my development permit fee is divided, my construction cost is all divided. So it depends. And also the other thing is the I need to look into the 100 bed what is the absorption rate, how long will it take for me to fill those 100 bed, does the community needs it. So like like just like a regular commercial real estate, we start from what does the market need, and then we bring that strategy. If they're all existing care homes and there is no waiting list, we don't go in that community to start new, because there's no demand. And if same like multifamily, right, we look at, does the community need 3 bedroom, 2 bedroom, or 1 bedroom, and what can we buy the land for, what is like our construction cost, and what is our final performa, like according to the cap rate.
So what cap rate do you look for? Um,
Like for multifamily or for care homes?
Years assisted.
So care homes are different from one city to another city. So I have seen 10 to 12, and in some parts of Alberta, I have seen like around 7 to 8 cap rate. And in BC, it will be like around, less cap rate. Like I think it goes with the multifamily because the land cost goes higher, and then for the care homes too. Some of the bigger facilities, they are like break even for up to 5 years, and then they start cash flowing. But if you are looking in a 10-12 cap rate, it will take about like 2 years, you know, for it to cash flow, and until like a year and a half, it will like break even. But in like the turnaround is like the cash flow is higher compared to the multifamily. But somebody has to look into it, that do they want to run the business, right?
Yeah, and you're probably able to play with the numbers a little bit, because I could offer more as rent and take less profit on the business side of things, or shift it depending on you shift it for this for a couple of years, you refinance all your money out, and then you shift it again.
Yes, yes, yeah, you're right. And then also being able to very careful that you can you can convert multifamily into senior living, but you cannot convert a building which is already a senior living back to multifamily, because some of the senior living facilities, they don't have full shower, and they're only half. And so if you're senior living, make sure that any project you're doing, like look into exit strategies, and whether it's a care home or whether it's a multifamily, or even like on the residential, like smaller multifamily, they should be able to sustain itself.
And so in BC, are you still restricted to the same rent controls?
Yes, I believe there was I could be wrong, to 2.4 something rent increase in BC per year. And that's a good thing about Alberta, right? Like there's no rent control, and it's landlord friendly, it's investor friendly. The zoning works for higher density, and on the same piece of land, you can build more units.
That's crazy. Crazy.
Yes, yes, yeah. Thank you. So, any final thoughts of what quote do you live by? Like day to day, what quote made a big difference in your life that you go by?
Yeah, so my goal is to make people wealthy, not for the sake of being rich, but so they can give away what they don't need. Um, Basically, just all I do is provide the information. People get to make the decisions. So I can't. People always go like, "Oh, how do you convince people to invest in real estate?" You just provide information. They get to make the decision. They're either going to invest in your deal or they're not. We just provide all the information.
And then other thing is, if somebody is hungry, they will eat. But if somebody is not hungry, they will never, ever, ever eat something. You can bring. There's one quote. I think about when I'm giving an opportunity. I look at it. Does the person is looking for an opportunity? If the person is not looking for opportunity, there's no point of giving information, or there's no point of giving the opportunity, because the person is not looking, right? You can bring a water to a horse, but you cannot make him drink it.
And recently, I've noticed, like sometimes when you're talking with lots of people, your emotions you just get tired, and so it's like, oh man, that kind of bugged me a little bit. And so like questions would bug me sometimes, but then I realized questions are the beginning of discovery. They're asking, they're like, well, what about this? Because and so they're trying to. But then if it's statements like, oh, that doesn't work, or it'll never work, it's like, oh, okay, that's your belief, as you believe in your heart. So it is, and can't change that.
Yes, absolutely. And then real estate is a numbers game, right? Like uh, if you do your, if you look on the facts, like for example, purchase price, you can look at comparable land sold, you know, price per unit sold, right? If it's a vacancy, you can vet the vacancy from CMHC data, you can vet the vacancy from the local banks or, you know, credit unions, and there are so many things that where you can find a vacancy rate. And same thing is utilities, you can compare with other buildings. Rents, you can look on, you know, rent, apartment rent, or there are a couple of websites you can look at what other rents, you know, or even due diligence, right? Vet every single information and then come up with the, you know, this looks like, you know, does not, like according to the cap rate or NOI, that the numbers does not match.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's awesome that your company can create those due diligence packages. If someone's wanting to do seniors assisted living, they can just have you come and be like, yep, it's either viable or it's not. It saves you a lot of time.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. That's great. So thank you so much, Bryce, for coming on the show. And keep watching. Subscribe to Multifamily Deals and Dollars if you have not. And thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you.